This video shows you the email strategy Pat Flynn of smartpassiveincome.com used for his brand new course A to Z webinars to generate more than $70,000 in only 12 days. A little disclaimer here, I'm not entirely sure if the revenue you see here is only from one product, namely his new course A to Z webinars. But if it's not, my wild guess is that's definitely a significant portion of it. Furthermore, the number may be even more than $80,000 because the screenshot of where Pat shares his revenue numbers on YouTube is from 2 p.m. and the card closed that same day on 9 p.m. Most often you find that the last day generates a loss of sales, if not most of the sales. After watching this video, you will better understand how email marketing works and how you can sell your own product using the same method Pat Flynn used for this particular promotion. Suppose you're not familiar with Pat Flynn, you should check out his website smartpassiveincome.com. Pat Flynn, for me, is one of the OG players in entrepreneurship and making money online. It's funny because I follow his website since late 2012. It's already 8 years ago since I first came across his website. Of course, Pat Flynn knows he impacted many lives with the tips and content he shares, but he probably only learns of a small percentage of all the successes he has made possible. He doesn't personally know my story, for example. But through all of the content he shared across the years, I took pieces of it and put them together. I started my blog about dogs, interviewed dog experts, and self-published these 4 puppy training books in 2016 and 2017. I printed the books myself and I also published them myself and earned $32,460 last month, October 2020, with these 4 books. Big thanks to Pat Flynn and the tips and inspiration he gave me through the examples and content he shared. I know I deviate big time from today's video topic where I'm going to share Pat Flynn's email marketing strategy with you, but I only want to say this. If there's a tiny chance you're watching Pat, thanks for all the content you put out. Many credits go out to you, man. You inspired me and helped me a lot. Okay, so sorry for the long introduction, brothers. Let's get started with the actual content of this video. Pat Flynn promoted his newest paid course, A to Z webinars, priced at $499 through email marketing. I received the first email from Pat on November 5, where the email marketing sales funnel for his new course started. I received the last email number 10, on November 16. All in all, the email marketing sales funnel for this particular product had a duration of 12 days and included 10 emails. Almost every day I received an email. And before going into the nitty-gritty of this email marketing strategy, let us first take a look at how many times he typically sends emails and sells products. I did a quick Gmail search, and this year, from the beginning of 2020 up until today of filming this video, which is November 20, I received 135 emails from Pat. In short, that's around 11 emails per month, where he every month promotes one of his products. Pat uses a different strategy than how Brian Dean does it with his business I reviewed in my previous video last Thursday. Brian only promotes his products around 3 times per year. I do think Pat has more products to sell than Brian, so that can explain the difference. Anyway, let's break down Pat's email marketing strategy for these 10 emails he used to promote his new course A to Z webinars. So again, I received the first email on November 5, on a Thursday. At the beginning of the email, Pat paints a picture of how painful and daunting it can be to host a webinar. After addressing the problem, Pat Flynn explains why he is qualified to help us. Pat has spent thousands of hours perfecting his way of doing webinars in his business. After giving this nice little introduction, he then invites us to a free live training, a webinar, explaining how to run the perfect webinar. The goal of this first email is to get people to hop on this free webinar. In marketer terms, it's the call to action, or CTA, of the email. In this first email, there's no mention of a product he's selling whatsoever. As you just saw, I broke down his emails by looking at what copywriting techniques he used. And if you want to know more about these copywriting techniques, you can download this PDF file. There's a link in the description below. A super powerful PDF file to have when you're writing your content for your website, emails, social media, or what have you. Email number 2 popped into my inbox on Friday, the day after the first email. The second email had a different setup than the first email because the second email is more of a brandable newsletter with images instead of just a text-only email with one purpose: namely a call to action to register for the free training about webinars. The second email is a weekly newsletter where Pat shares his highlights of that specific week. The big change of this second email compared with the first one is that he mentioned a paid course about webinars coming soon. And I'm not sure if this mention is by accident or on purpose, because in his first email he didn't mention any paid course or product coming soon. And coming back to my video from last Thursday where I reviewed Brian Dean's email promotion strategy, he only mentioned the paid course from email number 4 and forward. It's a big difference with Pat's strategy where he already mentions the paid product on day 2 of the email promotion. And to give a little summary, I received email number 1 on the Thursday and email number 2 on the Friday. The next week on Monday I received email number 3, where that email's goal was to remind me of the free training about webinars, which will take place the day after on Tuesday. And there's no mention of a paid course in email number 3 whatsoever. It's only about convincing me to join the free live training about how to run webinars. Then on Tuesday, the free training about webinars took place. Until this point, these are only Pat's first jabs he's been giving us, since he's not selling anything so far. By the end of the webinar, he introduced the paid course A to Z webinars. He explains that one can now enroll in his new course. Wednesday, I received email number 4. In that email, Pat shared a link to watch a replay to the earlier given free training about webinars. He also used that same email number 4 to introduce his paid course by email. He starts by describing the problem as he did in the first email on November 5. When his goal was to invite me to the free training. The problem he's describing now is not the same as in the first email though. And on a side note, you should write down it's important to list all the problems and challenges your product solves. Pat's doing it with his product, so if you want to learn from the best, you should copy these techniques. Coming back to Pat's email, after describing the problem people are having, he then explains that the solution, which is webinars, has helped him big time in his business in the last few years. He is then nicely transitioning to another copywriting technique to introduce the product, A to Z webinars. The next part of the email is listing all the features of the product. Below each of the features, Pat describes the benefit of it. He answers the question of how that particular feature can help you. He also mentions that if one enrolls before a specific date, they will receive a special bonus. And remember, the course already has that scarcity element because it is available for a limited time only, since the card closes a few days after on November 16. The date of the webinar where Pat introduced the course was on November 10. And adding those special bonuses for the people who enroll adds that FOMO effect, since people don't want to miss out on those incredible bonuses. It also gives Pat another opportunity to email his audience a few days later to remind them that those special bonuses will disappear soon. And that's the whole thing of adding the time scarcity element that gives you more reasons to email people. And at the end of the email, there's a call to action to buy the product. Psst, psst. Just to make sure, you do know we're breaking down the strategy of one of the best online marketers, right? Such amazing copy, and the transitions to all the different copywriting techniques are executed flawlessly. But let's quickly move on. The day after, on Thursday, I received email number 5. Again, in this email, Pat starts by describing another problem and pain. Email number 5 is the third email where Pat starts by describing a problem his product solves. Each of the emails described different problems. As you can now see, it's essential to know what problems and pains your product solves. Make a big list so you can use different problems in all your promotional content. Pat again then transitions to explaining why he is qualified to teach us this. And after that, he introduced the product, described the product's features and benefits. At the end of the email, he remembers us about the time-sensitive bonus we can get if we order before November 16. In other words, he uses the copywriting technique scarcity to motivate people to take action. Then there is the Friday, where I received email number 6. And if I'm correct, Pat sends his brandable newsletter every Friday with updates on everything that's going on in his business. And looking at the content related to the A to Z webinar promotion, it's somewhat the same as email number 5. Maybe it's because not every single subscriber on his email list receives both emails. Not that it will make a big difference, but still, maybe it would be better to describe another problem that A to Z webinar solves in that brandable email number 6 instead of repeating the same problem and solution as in the previous email. Then on Saturday I received email number 7. The subject line of this email is called Questions Answered. But we as marketers know that this email is all about the copywriting technique addressing objections. Throughout the sales funnel, readers may start to object to buying the product or taking action, so the salesperson must address the objections. An excellent way to address the objections is to create a frequently asked questions list, and that is what Pat did here. As with previous emails, there is a call to action to buy, and the scarcity element at the end by calling out a time-sensitive bonus once again. 2 days later, on Monday, I received email number 8, early in the morning. This email starts by saying it is the last day to enroll in the program. It's also the last day to receive a discount and a special bonus when signing up. Pat is using the FOMO element by encouraging people to buy his product. The fear of missing out on the discount and a special bonus. He's describing the intended outcome when you go buy his course. He also writes what the future will be like for us if we buy his course. Somewhere in the afternoon that same Monday, I received email number 9. In this email, he shares a privately published 3-minute YouTube video where Pat talks to the camera in an authentic and raw style. The big advantage of adding such videos to it is that people know that the process isn't just all automated. There's a real person behind the emails and the product he's selling. In this 3-minute video, he shares that his new product closes its doors that same day at 10 p.m. at the lowest price it will ever be. All the discounts will go away, and the same goes for the bonuses people receive. So he's using the FOMO technique and addresses the scarcity element once again. Pat uses the sales techniques repeatedly to persuade his audience to take action.
Come with me if you want to live.
The same goes for addressing objections one may have and using risk reversal techniques like the money back guarantee. Then somewhere in the evening that same Monday I received email number 10. The last email regarding this promotion. Email number 10 is the last email and the final reminder. It's the last chance to hop on board if you want. He uses this last email to describe the product's outcome one last time and addresses a few objections. Well, there you have it. The breakdown of Pat's email marketing strategy for promoting his new course. As you can see, you don't have to come up with new content every time you want to send an email. Repeating the same message in different words is just fine. The big thing you need to remember is that you need to have a clear vision of why you are qualified to teach that particular topic. Make sure you have as many reasons written down as possible you can use in your email's content. Furthermore, it would help if you listed all the objections people could have not to buy a product. Too expensive? Don't have time? Is it right for me? What if I'm not happy with the outcome? Etc. Besides that, it's essential to have a list of all the features your product offers. What are the benefits of using your product? And another big thing is using scarcity in your promotions. As you can see, the thing that came back every time you message us was scarcity. Pat Flynn is a true marketing genius, so make sure you subscribe to his newsletter and check out his website, podcast and YouTube channel. My idea is to share other breakdowns with you in the upcoming videos on this channel, so subscribe if you're interested in seeing more of these. Every Monday and Thursday there is a new video. And if you want to see my story, check out the video where I share how I generated $32,460 last month, October 2020, selling my 4 self-published books. There's a link in the description to that video. And this business of me selling my books isn't like most stories, since it is in the dog training industry instead of the making money online niche. I have more than 30,000 email subscribers in my email marketing ConvertKit account with my online dog training business. The email automation systems I've set up in ConvertKit are a big part of making sales every day on automation. autopilot. If you're dipping your toes into email marketing, check out my ConvertKit video in the description below. There's also a link to a video where I share the best free email marketing software nowadays. It's all in the description of this video. And one more thing, if you want to know how I built this email list of more than 30,000 email subscribers with my online dog training business, make sure to download this free 5-page ebook where I share my 3-step formula to 100 daily newsletter signups. There's a link to the free ebook in the description below. So that's all I got to say for today. Stay hydrated, stay healthy, and good luck with your journey to earning that daily bread for you and your family. Make sure to leave a comment and tell me if I'm doing a good job here on YouTube. It's a new adventure for me here on YouTube, and I would like to know what you think of it. Thanks for watching my video, brother, and I'll see you next time. And by the way, don't forget to like the video if it helped you. Robin out.